Okay, so hello everyone. So today our musical presentation is going to be the frame drum. Now the frame drum is a very common drum. It's used in many different cultures. You'll see it a lot in like Egyptian music, so ancient music. It's been around for a long time. It's used by shamans and all kinds of people all over the world. It's just a very simple drum. But what makes it so cool is that there's so many possibilities. But anyway, I'm really interested in the idea of trance, music that can put you in a trance, and I find that the way to put your mind into a trance, at least the way that I found, is that sometimes like rhythms that are too complex that your conscious mind can't process, it goes deeper into your subconscious mind, and then your mind is tricked into going into another dimension. And I think that's so super interesting for me. And I'm always searching for ways to do that with music. And so I'd like to just share this rhythm that I'm using now. It's a very random rhythm, I might say. And because it's so random, you're trying to follow the rhythm, and then you can't, and then it's like the rain. The rain can put you into a trance because the rhythm there's kind of a rhythm, and then it stops, and there's another rhythm, and that just puts you in this like dreamy state. So, and the reason that you want to be put into a dreamy state, of course, is because you want to fix something, and you want to get out of the monkey mind, get out of the everyday grind, and maybe if you want to go deeper and travel to different dimensions. So yeah. So anyway, here it is. I'll just do a brief demonstration of it. It's been studied that about 15 minutes of this constant 15 minutes of this type of steady rhythm at a certain speed can really put you into a deep trance. But today, yeah, I'll just do a little demonstration, and then maybe in the future I'll just make a trance video. So anyway, so here it goes. Okay, so, and for you percussionists out there, please don't go too hard on me. So the whole idea, though, of this is that it is a bit random, but it does have the same kind of pulse to it, for the most part. Not the best performance. But I'm using my 5 different fingers in different configurations, so each finger has a different kind of sound to it. So, yeah, so that's what I was trying to do. And so today I thought I wanted to ask about something that often happens to me is that when I'm in public, I will sense, I think many people have this, right, where you sense someone looking at you. And for me, I sense it. It's like a pain, a very sharp pain sometimes in the back of my head. And for the longest time, I would ask everyone around me, hey, do you have the sharp pain in the back of your head? And no one did. And I thought, I thought maybe it was a medical condition. And then finally I realized when I'd look around, I would see that there's someone kind of staring at me, and they would kind of look away. And so it was really, really good to finally figure that out, what it is. And so it's, people's energy being broadcast towards you, and maybe their judgments or their whatever it is that they're dealing with, they're projecting it onto you. And if you can sense it, it's just painful. It's like, hey, cut it out. That hurts. Why are you doing that? Project it somewhere else. This kind of thing. But also, so I feel that in the back of my head, but then sometimes when I have messages, I feel them on the top of my head, usually like right around here or right around here. And and usually that's not someone from the third dimension. That's usually coming from above. So the way that I've kind of asked my guides off and on throughout, but I still have so many questions about it, and I want to know so much more about it. But the way that I understand it is that what they told me is that, so this is your crown chakra, and then you have your higher chakras here. So the messages come down first through here, your crown chakra, and then they get processed. So this is something that my channeling teacher taught me. So I guess I shouldn't share too much of it. Maybe direct you to her to learn it. But just a brief, it just comes through this crown chakra, and then it's parsed like through the operating system of your body and your imagination. And so that's how the messages happen. But then the 3D things happen here, and then things that are kind of from a lower dimension happen a little bit lower. And fortunately, I don't really feel too much back here, but in the back of my head, I live in a relatively crowded city, and I'm often on a crowded train, and I don't look like most of the people in this country. And so I stand out, like a sore thumb. And so, yeah, I'm kind of an object of attention and projection. So whatever everyone's dealing with, it's like I'm an easy target, especially since I'm not wearing one of these things either. Here, we have to wear one of these, and I'm not. So more of a target. But I'm just curious about it, because sometimes, like even today, I felt it pretty strongly. And depending on the person, it can feel very intense. And I've taken to just kind of staring at the person like, hey, like giving I don't say anything, but just giving a visual like, hey, stop, sending all that stuff out. That's not cool. So anyway, I'd be really interested if anyone else has that, because I haven't found anyone. I've actually found one person. But so I'd be really interested to find that there's other people. It's like finding out that there's another left-hander out there. You're left-handed. That's great. So anyway, I'm so interested in that subject. So anyway, without further ado, I won't ramble anymore, and I will call in my guides and ask them that question to explain what this is all about. And yeah. Okay. Greetings, everyone. We're happy to be here with you all at this time. It is I, Raphael. It is so wonderful to be in front of you, to talk to you, to find a place that I can talk to you directly. I wish you all well, and I wish you peace and happiness and all of the best things that you can have in this life and all of your other lives. Your channel has called me forward to ask about these feelings that you have on your body. And yes, to explain it, we might have to go a little bit further back in your history to allow you to understand how these things work. You see, when humans were first created, they were quite different from they are now. You were a little bit more connected to everything. you had a little bit more of connection. And so these things that your guide, your channel is speaking about now were a little bit clearer for everyone, and they could see them clearly. They could understand this, and this is since they could understand this, everyone was quite careful about this kind of situation. But now in your modern society, a lot of you have closed off of that those energy sources, and through your media and your movies and your social networking, you've been bombarded with all of these other images, so that you can't really process these other things that are happening, and then you tend to deal with all of the things that you take in. You have to get them out somehow, and sometimes if you're not aware of what you're doing, you will project these things out onto other people. And I'm sure in your psychology you're aware of the idea of projection. But the idea of projection goes much, much deeper than just blaming something on someone. You actually have energy. You are, as you know, very, very powerful creative beings, and you can create this energy and you can put it onto someone else and project your energy because you are them. But in the end, you are just projecting your energy on yourself. And it's just creating this loop, this circular loop. It goes over and over and over again. But so yes, in your past, the original humans were a bit different from your state at the time. They were fully open to all of these ideas. But as history passed and as things changed, slowly you became more and more and more kind of closed off. And this is part of your ascension process too, because you needed to experience what it would be like to be completely closed off. What an experience to be completely closed off and just all alone. Of course, you're never all alone, but that feeling of being alone, not being able to connect. And this is a very powerful experience for all of you. But you've gone through that as humanity, and now you're coming out of that the dark ages, you might say. We wouldn't call them dark, but maybe the ages when you couldn't see as well. And now you're coming to the age where you can see better. Okay, so that's a brief history lesson of how this happened. And now what's happening is a lot of you are becoming online now too. A lot like your channel before you. He's coming online. He's been booted up like a computer, and he's coming online, and he's experiencing these energies. And he has experienced them since he was very little, but he would ignore them. He turned himself off for a while, and this was also just as a microcosm of your ascension. A lot of you sense these things when you're younger, and then you turn it off because you need to get on with your life, and then you turn them on later. And this is fine. This is what a lot of people do, and this is just something, a survival mechanism, and it's also an experience that you wanted to have. There are certain experiences you needed to have that you needed them turned off. You didn't need them on through those experiences, and you need to experience certain dark nights of the soul, as your channel before you has experienced many, 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 many dark nights of the soul. Sometimes he feels like every night is a dark night of the soul. We say this in jest, of course. Now, getting back to the feelings. So yes, so your channel is correct, and his teacher, of course, was very, very correct. So the concept is that yes, you receive the energies and they're processed through your operating system, and yes, as your channel said, the energies from behind are more the third dimension energies, and they can be anything from lust, greed, jealousy, anger, all of the wonderful spicy things that you like to create on this on this planet, all of these illusions that you like to create. They can be a mixture of all of these things, and you will feel them on the back of your head. The more that you're aware, the more you can feel them there. And we see these things from above, so we experience, my experience of these things is a little bit different from the way that you experience them, but we can explain to a certain extent. So this pain that you're feeling is that pain, and you are becoming open to that pain, that greed, that anger, the lust, and it can be very painful depending on the level of that anger, pain, joy, anger, pain, or lust, or the actual creative power of that person too, because that is an effect of it on it too. So you can be aware of these things, and we would suggest for people like our channel and anyone who else feels these things to explore these feelings, to go into them. And so, for example, like when you feel this energy on the back of your head, look back at that person. You don't have to look at them with your eyes like our channel does, but you can just look with your inner eye and look back at them and explore where that feeling, what feeling is it that, is it a feeling of anger? Is it lust? Is it fear? And delve into that feeling. Of course, we don't say to feel that feeling, but delve in, what is it? And one of the things you might be able to do if you are very, very adventurous is you could try to clear this energy. Now, we don't recommend this for everyone. We have to put a disclaimer on this. You have to be really ready to do this sort of thing. But if you feel like you're ready to do this thing, if you are in a healthy state of mind and a healthy state of body, then we would also suggest what your channel before you is doing. He is doing A Course in Miracles. That is a very good step. But any kind of spiritual practice will help you along. So we would suggest that you're ready spiritually to handle intense things. But if you are, then we would suggest exploring these things and going deeper into them, because that will open up many, many different worlds for these projections. And you could imagine what you could do. For example, your channel on a crowded train. Imagine what he could do with all of that anger and greed and jealousy. Imagine how you could just transfer all of those emotions into joy and peace. What a wonderful thing. What a magnificent way to spend your time on a crowded train. But of course, it's a disclaimer. We don't try it if you're not ready. If you are feeling depression, if you are deep in darkness, do not go there. Do not go there. If you are in that state, then we would suggest putting light around your body. Now, don't shoot the energy back. Don't get angry at the anger. Just increase the white light around your body. The white light is, as your channel has said before, an antibiotic, an antiseptic, an antiviral. It will clear your energy and clear that energy around you. Just imagine the white light just spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning and just around you, and just, it's so powerful that it's just repelling all of that stuff, and you're just surrounded by this beautiful white light, and you're just at peace and so relaxed. We would suggest this if you're not in a state to deal with it. And then, as your channel said, yes, the energy that's coming from above is coming from the higher realms. And you have to be careful too, because the higher realms are from the third dimension. Everything is a higher realm, and it's, whoa, ancient people used to call everyone a god. This is a god. They're from a higher realm, but don't be deceived. There are many beings in higher realms, and some of them are positive and some of them aren't positive. And so you always have to use your discernment when you receive a message from here. And this is part of your spiritual process, the ability to discern. And this is something that we find so interesting on your planet, and your channel also finds interesting and talks to us a lot about, is the concept that within your media and your mass media, that there is a process of discernment going on as well, on a 3D level, where you are able to see beyond the lies that are being disseminated. You are becoming more and more able to detect when something is truly a truth and not a truth. For example, before, in a different era, everyone would just listen to what they hear, and they would just believe it. They would swallow it whole and just, okay, this is what is happening. But more and more, a lot of you are becoming more aware of the idea that that doesn't sound quite right. That doesn't resonate with me. And this is the process of discernment that you go through in the spiritual process as well. So this process of ascension is going on so many different levels, and it is such a wonderful process to watch for all of us. And we wish you so much happiness and joy in this process, and enjoy this process as much as you can. And again, if you ever find yourself lost in the process, you can call on us at any time. And if you don't want to call on us, if you don't feel comfortable with that situation, then you can just call in the light, call in this white light, and let it nourish you. and let it take away all of this negative energy. Oh, okay, so that was Archangel Raphael, and cheers. Ciao, everyone.